These two are gonna win the Champions League together, aren't they? This was me after I found out that Chelsea 2025 are following the very path Porto 04, Liverpool 05 and Chelsea 2021 took to winning the Champions League. The average age of a Champions League winning squad is 27, and the average age of a Europa winning squad is 26. And Chelsea's 2025 Conference League winning squad had an average age of 23.5. Winning a European trophy with that average age is unheard of. The only team that comes close to this average age is Porto 2003, who of course went on to win the Champions League next year. Liverpool 2001 won the UEFA Cup with an average age of 26.1, which is not as youthful as Chelsea 2025, but they had a young core of players, including a young Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, and Sami Hyypiä, who were the perfect age to then lift the Champions League 4 years later in 2005. The only other team to achieve this feat was Chelsea 2019, who won it with an average squad age of 27, which is absolute prime, meaning they won the Champions League 2 years later, just over the prime, but kept that core group of players. And you could argue this is survivorship bias, because what about Sevilla, who won it like 6 times? What about Atletico, who won it a couple of times? What about Man United? Well, Atletico won it in 2010 and 2012 and reached the Champions League final in 14 and 16. Unluckily, fall into some Los Blancos juju, but you did have players like Courtois who went on to win it multiple times. You also had Sevilla, who won it like 6 times, and despite that 2013-14 squad fitting into this young category with an average age of 24.7, only Ivan Rakitic went on to win the Champions League out of that team. Man United 2017 won the Europa, but faded pretty fast. But why didn't these teams make the leap from Europa to Champions League? That's because these teams were at the peak of their powers, meaning that next step up to the Champions League was already a step too far. And sure, there's the argument of it being the Conference League rather than the Europa. Well, there's not many teams who have won the Conference League who then play Champions League football the next year. West Ham, no. Roma, no. Olympiacos, no. So does this mean that Chelsea, mid-rebuild, post-chaos, are about to cruise into European dominance? Probably not. Let's just say that if football history repeats itself, this isn't the trophy that defines Chelsea's decade. It's the one that starts it.